So this week's episode will be a kind of a part two of last week's episode, where I want to focus on why history is repeating itself. So, I have been in the US for a decade, and I just feel like it has not gotten better in a in a in a good way. Like, for example, in other country they use, you know, they have free education, healthcare. In America, we don't have any of those. So back in the early 2000, we they went to war with Iraq and some terrorism stuff, and now they're going to war again for no real reason. Like, it's just all the people like voted into office. They're just doing things that doesn't improve America. They just like there was Venezuela. Like, why were we there spending taxpayer money supporting sending our troop over there? What what was that all about? It was really none of our business. And then now we're in Iran. Great, another war. Uh, does it help with our economy? No, no, it does not. War just create fear in people. The economy is going to get worse. Oil price is gonna go up. It, it's just an excuse for capitalist people to be like, "Oh, we're at war now, so cost of things is gonna go up." And it's the Middle East, so your gasoline price is gonna go up. As I say, the capitalists that control this country, they control resources like all the stuff you buy at the grocery store that you need to eat to live, and the gas price that you need to get to work. It's not like even the war on terrorism or whatever they claim it. It's like, why do we need to be over there? If it was really about terrorism, why don't you increase homeland security so that if they attack us again, we'll be ready? You don't want to go into the enemy territory. Why are we sending people to why are we sending our troop to the Middle East when we can improve homeland security? That would be more effective. No, but we waste a lot of time and resources in the Middle East, so that's a huge waste of money over there. And now we're doing it again in Iran. Just with the whole Israel and Palestinian wars, like, why do we care about that? You know, like other countries, such as some European country, like England, Spain, even Australia, they use taxpayer money for providing free education, providing free healthcare, which benefits society as a whole. But we don't have that in America. And you can argue that, oh, you get that through your employer, but do you think that your employer will keep you employed if you have cancer and you need multiple treatment? No, they don't. And other private insurance company won't take you because they only want healthy people so that they don't have to pay for your treatment. And, there's this untrue, just like, it's like propaganda of saying like, "Oh, well, that free healthcare system isn't that great because you might have to get in 9 months to see a doctor." No, that is not true. You can see the doctor on the same day. I have people that live in those countries with free healthcare. They can go see the doctor fast. You don't have to wait months. This is people making up more stuff to say to just it's an illusion that they create that why America is still the best country to live in, but it's not. You you know, if you've been here over a decade and now history is repeating itself, it's like, why do we keep getting involved with the Middle East? What does that do for the America America economy, nothing. It does not improve our economy at all. But we are over there because the capitalists want the resource, which is the oil, and our gas price will go up. Like it's so you know, and then free education. Like my Australian housemate, he told me that when he graduated from college, like he doesn't have to pay it back right away. They won't make you pay it back until you find a job. In America, when I borrow my student loan, I have to work during the summer to pay that off. You have to pay as you go to college, and that make it hard because you have to work and then study is just very overwhelming. And my friend from Europe, they say they get free education, you know, so it's it's good for them because that shows the a government that care for the people, for everybody, not just the rich people like in America. Or right now in America, what the capitalist people are trying to do with the very, very wealthy is that they're erasing the middle class, so that they trying to keep everybody down, so it's harder to move up to them, based on insecurity, but they do control resources, so now it's gonna be harder. And, unfortunately, Trump took over, and I don't even like, I was signing up for student loan forgiveness, but I don't even get that anymore. So, I just get tired of this situation. History repeats itself because the majority of the voters does not learn, like, what would benefit them. They would fall for, like, okay, so you have the insecurity that if a woman become president, it would not be as like they won't run the country efficiently as the man, or what? Because other country have female who are in you know political positions. It doesn't matter, men or women, people can be as intelligent. They're equally intelligent, so it doesn't matter the gender. But you are so afraid of that you vote for this 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 person to be in office where he's so corrupted. He's using a bunch of money. You guys get nothing in return. It's a horrible, like, yeah. If I was to having to tell people what's the benefit of living in America, I would tell people, no, you get none. You just pay tax. You get absolutely nothing. Just pay more than half your paycheck toward tax. They don't spend money improving public transportation. They don't spend money fixing the road. You drive in pothole, it damage your car. Like, there's so much things to improve society they could use that money on besides going to war with Venezuela or the Middle East. Like, public transportation in other countries is super clean. I prefer to use it over having to drive my car and pay for gas. But here it's just so horrible. It's dirty, it's noisy because it's old, and then there's mental people running everywhere, and sometimes they just approach you and act all crazy. But that is not their fault. What is their fault is that some president decided to shut down the mental institution in which people need that. It's because mental people need their medication daily. So that create a whole homeless problem. But our government does not want to fix that either. We're just gonna waste more money going to war. So it's it's like I have feel like nothing has changed, or just the history is just going to repeat itself. It's already did. Well, it's already did, but yeah. Um, and it's sad. There's so much they can do, but this is what it is, and this is what you vote for. So we're gonna stuck with this for another 3 years, you know? Like, I just wanna, like, I just wanna find a job somewhere else and move out of America. I'm sick of this situation. Just the political environment, and then the just feeling like there's no there's no support in helping me pay my student loan, in the healthcare situation. What if I get really sick? You never know, and your health is gonna go south. It's gonna be really fast, and you need that treatment. It's gonna be expensive. It's just a really, really tragic situation that the government is so wasteful, just wasting money on unnecessary wars. They could use that money toward other things that help the people, but they don't. So, that's just part two of my thought on that. And, you can still buy into the propaganda that America's the best, but I don't believe that anymore after spending a decade here and seeing things play out, seeing history repeat itself in front of me. It's just, it's not going to change. And regardless of which party you vote for, Democrat or Republican, they have, it's all about capitalists, like capitalism. This is about controlling money, getting more money out of people. You get nothing else in return. So it's pointless. So, just the argument that you pay more in tax in another country, yes, but you get free healthcare and free education. Those are the two things that benefit everybody. What does going to war benefit anybody? No, it's just benefit the rich people that sell weapons. And, then they get oil and they raise the price on oil on you. So, you know, yeah, just throw my thought out there that, America is just an illusion that it's a great place to live, but if you come from a place that you have been oppressed, no freedom of speech, etc., then you might think it's great here to have all that freedom, but I don't care about that freedom. I, wa- I want I want a healthcare system that, as a citizen, that free healthcare, because my health is an important things to me, and I would like free education to further my to go back to college to study something else, especially and just learn more about different skill set. But no, I don't get that in America. It's just it doesn't the government does not take care of its citizen at all. So, you know, it's just an illusion to me. Like freedom does nothing. It's just like what you say. It's like, oh, you get freedom in America. Yeah, but what else do you get? Nothing. Okay. Well, that's all. Part two. Till next time. Thanks for listening.